Will Robert Whittaker fraud check Khamzat Chimaev this weekend? I don't know. I will make a definitive answer in the end, but I think this fight is as close to a 50-50 as you can get. It's a really close fight. There's so much unknown about Khamzat because he just fought a welterweight in the middleweight division, so we don't know how he's going to do with the big size difference, if he's still as strong as he is, if he's bigger than these guys. We don't know until we get this fight. But I'm not going to be one of those guys who are going to be like, if he would have done this, he's going to win. I'm going to make a definitive answer. I'll give you guys who I think is going to win this fight, and I won't hide from criticism. I think I know who's going to win this fight, but it's as close as 50-50 as you think. There's so much unknown in this fight. I think the most important thing in this fight is the wrestling and the grappling sequence. And the real question is, can Khamzat take down Robert Whittaker consistently and finish him? That's a tough question because we don't know how physically strong Khamzat is. I know in the welterweight division, he's so much physically stronger than everyone. You see him pick up the leash, like carry him across the ring, taking him the octagon, not the ring, to Dana White. You've seen him do all of this. So this fight will answer so many questions. It's so hard to know, but we can look at Robert Whittaker's past wrestlers, his opponents, and we can kind of determine how good he is. The best pure wrestler Robert Whittaker's ever fought was Romero. And Romero was a good wrestler. He fought in the Olympics, he won a medal. So how Romero fared against Robert in the wrestling it was hard to take Robert down. It was just that simple. Romero was having trouble taking Robert down. So eventually, Romero just didn't try taking him down in the second fight. So Romero knew, okay, this guy is so hard to take down. And what made him so hard to take down is his hands are so low. So when someone shoots for a double, Robert already has one underhook on, so he can fight it. It's like having that extra few seconds to fight it off, and Robert just survived. The only time Romero got a clean takedown on Robert was when Robert Whittaker blitzed in trying to hit Romero. He got taken down, and anyone knows if you ever blitz for it and someone just times a blast double, like it's almost impossible to defend, and you get flatline on your butt. So yeah, it's really hard to take Robert down. I think that's gonna play a big part where the low hands, it's gonna stop Khamzat from getting his hands around Robert and locking them together, which is a big part of Khamzat's game in wrestling. But there is a problem what happened in that sequence though. Robert turned his back, and that's how he got up because it was so deep in, which is really dumb if you fight someone like Khamzat, because Khamzat is a pure grappler. I don't want to hear this wrestler and grappler. People get this mistaken a lot. Like Romero was a good wrestler, but there was no submissions. He has no submissions in his game, so he just pins you and like beats you or hold positions. So there was no threat of any submissions when Romero took him down. But Khamzat's a completely different story. That's all part of his game, taking it back and submitting you. So hopefully Robert does it. And if Khamzat gets the hooks in and takes his back, I think it's almost over because there's so much control that Khamzat gets. So I think Robert can't do that. So that is a little worrying when I see that sequence when he defended Romero. But there is something that does kind of help me feel better when I see him turn his back. Robert Whittaker fought Jacare Silva, and he had one hook in, and Robert was able to escape it. And Jacare Silva is no random grappler. He was an ACC champion, so he's a good BJJ practitioner. So Robert Whittaker, I think, can survive the back, but Jacare Silva is so much smaller than Khamzat, so I don't know. And I think Khamzat's just that good. Another thing that also gives me a bit of confidence is when you see Robert defend takedowns from Romero, or the other times when Romero tries to take him down, his reaction time is so good. When he fights any other wrestlers, his reaction time is so good where his hands are placed. So that does give me a little bit of relief if Robert does that. So, but still, giving the back is something that I don't like when I see someone fight Khamzat. Now it goes to the striking, and I think the striking is more favorable for Robert, because Robert's just a better striker. Khamzat is okay at striking. He's no trash bag at striking. He's no Ben Askren, the best striker in the UFC. But it's a lot to be desired by Khamzat, in my opinion. I think he doesn't have a good backhand. He relies a lot on the jab, and he blocks it with the hands. There's not a lot of head movement. He moves his head, but there's no intention of slipping his shots, if that makes sense. Khamzat just normally puts his hands up and just blocks it. So the only thing that I'm scared of Robert is if he blitzes in, which he always does, and Khamzat lands a jab, like kind of what DDP did. And Khamzat switched from southpaw to orthodox, and he does that just to land a jab in different angles. So if he can time it perfectly, he can knock Robert out, kind of like in a DDP fight. But besides that, I think Robert's going to have a field day in the grappling. Robert has a nasty jab. he slips his shots, I think he's gonna have a field day with Khamzat. Robert Whittaker's jab, I think is gonna hand Khamzat. If Robert can survive the first 2-3 rounds, his jab is just gonna land on Khamzat and Will. I've seen Gilbert Burns land the jab, and I think Robert is bigger than Burns. He's gonna land the jab almost on Will, in my opinion, and he's just gonna step the high kick. All Robert Whittaker's shots are from the jab. I don't care what anyone says. Watch him. He ducks down, he jabs, and eventually he starts blitzing in with the high kick, the overhand. Like, this is what Robert does, and I think Robert's gonna have a field day with Khamzat if he doesn't get timed from the blitz for Khamzat's jab from southpaw orthodox. That's the only thing that I think he has to worry about in the striking. Everything else, I think Robert's got such a big advantage, and you're just gonna see a skill difference in striking unless Khamzat changes his game completely. From what I see online, this is a 5-round fight, and I think it's confirmed by Robert. I think he said it in one of the podcasts, and I see him saying, "Oh, I don't know why it needs to be 5 rounds." I think bro should be happy it's a 5-round fight. If it's a 3-round fight, I think this fight is highly favored to Khamzat. So since it's a 5-round fight, I think Robert should have a big advantage, and I think if Khamzat doesn't go crazy the first round, I think Robert should be fine because he gets tired quickly, and it's not a cardio problem. It's just if you go so fast, you get tired. It doesn't matter who you are. You can be Khabib, you can be like anyone. If you just go hard the first minute, you're gonna get screwed. Like you see these runners. Runners run fast. It doesn't mean they have bad cardio. It's just you go it all, you give it your all, you just get tired. So if Khamzat goes, even if Khamzat starts slowly, like he said, he's gonna condition himself, pace himself better. I don't know how good he is when he paces himself. From the Usman fight, I see him in round 3, round 2. When he goes for a takedown, when he's not crazy, he doesn't get the takedown that well, and I think Robert's just going to defend it. So I think it's just, he needs to go crazy, in my opinion, to get the advantage on Robert. Because if it's a slow fight, it's just going to favor Robert. He's just going to stuff the takedowns, in my opinion. I think Khamzat needs to go fast. Like, he has to do it in bursts if he wants to beat Robert. So this fight's going to answer a lot of questions. So I don't know, man. If I had to pick, I would give it to Robert Whittaker. If I had to pick. Because I'm not going to be those guys who be like, this fight is 50-50. I'm not going to pick, if Khamzat does the wrestling, he should win, I'm not going to be like, I'll make a definitive answer. I'd give it to Robert. I'd be like, it's 55-45, I think, this fight. It's as close as it gets. If Khamzat Chimaev picks Robert Whittaker up and, destroys him, would I be a little surprised? Yeah, it's Robert Whittaker, but now we know how good Khamzat is in the middleweight division. We don't know. It's so much unknown. So I have to favorite. I would have to pick Robert Whittaker to win this fight. And I think it's going to be a good fight. It's going to be a good fight. We're going to get so much answers. I don't know. I keep saying we're going to get so much answers. I'm excited for this fight. If you enjoyed this video, like, subscribe, comment down below what you want me to talk about in the next video. And I see you in the next one. Bye-bye.